Welcome, Leo. It's your in-depth weekly astrology overview and zodiac forecast for week commencing the 22nd of June for the ascendant, the sun, or the moon. Going to share the big themes of the week ahead first. On screen is your event chart as we enter the week. I'll unpack that, always important. I'll then go through each of the influences in detail. By the end of the forecast, you'll have a clear picture of what's upcoming in terms of your vitality, work, relationships, or finances. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundel. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so now to help it to continue to thrive. But please also click or tap the bell notification symbol. The week begins with the sun, your ruler, having moved into a more meditative part of your chart. I'm going to share how the sun is challenged at the start of this week by the moon, but also later in the week by Neptune. What's the significance? But Mars, the planet of action, has been giving you extra confidence over the last 5.5 weeks. And later this week forges a brilliant link to Jupiter, the planet of fortune. I'm going to share how that can be particularly helpful to you before Mars then moves into the bubbly sign of Gemini, but it conjuncts with Uranus, the planet of freedom, together in that zodiac sign for the first time in probably around about 77 years. Extremely rare, but that can actually bring some different perspectives to your situation in a very sudden and unexpected way. So on the screen now, Leo, is your event chart. So the sun moving into Cancer, Cancer, very caring, protective, loves the home. And you may find yourself over the next 4 weeks at times just wanting to cocoon yourself away a little bit. If you're interested in healing, anything to do with nature, getting away from it all can be very, very positive. We live in such a busy world. Getting that personal space and just being quiet is not easy. It's just on Monday, there's a quarter moon. And that 312 square is a tricky one. It could be that you hear something or read something, perhaps on social media, which could be a little bit triggering. You could be feeling a lot more sensitive. So what people are saying can have a greater impact. Now, I mentioned about Neptune before. The Sun moves forwards and squares with Neptune. Neptune's in your fellow fire sign of Aries, but the ninth house can amplify. Neptune can distort. It's very much to do with our imagination. So if you have got some worries at the moment, just be aware of who you're sharing them with. It's not that someone may want to say the wrong thing. It's just that they may not be able to tune in quite the way you need. And that is something to be mindful of. But despite the sensitivity of the Sun, Mercury, and Jupiter in that 12th house, Mars is still loud and proud in that 10th house where Chiron has recently arrived. Now, the Sun and Chiron are in a great link at the start of this week. If you do reach out to get some kind of healing treatment and it helps you to cope with the pressures of your everyday job, that's a very constructive thing. Also, the sun forges a lovely link to the North Node. So I think just thinking about the more emotional dimension of your life can come up this week, but do be a bit picky about who you're spending time with. You could end up feeling drained with the wrong person. But that Mars to Jupiter link, which peaks on Thursday, suggests that something you've been patiently working on behind the scenes for absolutely ages can really start to crystallize as this week draws to a close. Now, Venus in your zodiac sign is encouraging you to perhaps revise some of the way you dress, maybe give yourself a freshen image, and particularly if you're a very artistic or creative person, that's terrific too. And that forges a link with Saturn later this week. If you're traveling somewhere and it is to enjoy anything to do with a cultural strand, you're going to have a really great time. But then by the end of the week, Mars moves into the sign of Gemini. It's going to be there for 6 weeks, and it's definitely good for you personally. Mars in the 11th house has the talent to be individual, but also connect and collaborate. It doesn't all have to be about I. So Mars can be very strong, but it is getting very close to the conjunction with Uranus as this week draws to a close. And that could see you have a complete and utter change of mind, but very quickly about one particular friendship, a long-term plan. It may even be about a romantic situation. And talking of romance, with Venus in that opposition with Pluto, and also itself in a link to Uranus, it may be that there is a degree of compulsion or change going on, or different insights developing about what you really want or who you'd feel most comfortable with. But Mars moving into Gemini, it's a sign where Mars likes to convey its opinion. It can also be very restless. Some short journeys, particularly with friends, can appeal to you. But by the end of this week, something very, very quick can happen, which could prove to be very exciting indeed. I'm going to summarize those 4 areas of vitality, work, relationships, and finances next, Leo. But just to say, I've slashed the price of my personal horoscope reports. Now 3 for the price of 1. The one you pay for, your life roadmap report, helps us to understand the patterns that play out in our lives. Free, your 12 months transit, but also your draconic soul karmic analysis. Please see below for more. If you've yet to watch your solstice 3-month forecast video, huge energy shift. If you click on the eye, the italic eye on the screen, it will take you to that video, along with the Gemini new moon video too. If you'd like to work with me one-to-one, it'd be an absolute pleasure. Please see my testimonials below. And if you've yet to sign up for your free daily written horoscope, find your device each morning for your early day celestial pit stop. You can do so below too. So to summarize, energy. While your energy has gone into a very healing mode, but that doesn't mean to say that you've got anything physically wrong with you. It may be just your appreciation of peace, tranquility, stillness, purity, just taking a breath, getting away from the hubbub. All of those themes can really appeal. Is it possible? Well, maybe for an hour or two at the least. But what I feel your energy can be affected by this week, particularly with the quarter moon, is actually if you are feeling a bit anxious about something, and with the sun square to Neptune by Thursday, that's an aspect that can be extremely debilitating. If there's some worries going on, or someone's not being very honest, or not being very clear, or maybe even a bit manipulative, that can drain your energy this week. What can help your energy is if you're in a situation where you feel in charge of your destiny, and the work you've been doing behind the scenes, cultivating important people, doing a lot of research, learning new skills, that can come back to you fabulously well later this week. If you are thinking of giving yourself some kind of makeover or traveling, Venus is linked to Saturn. It's really good. I think Venus in your own sign in that opposition to Pluto can draw admirers, but this 12th house energy is suggesting you need to be very, very careful who you let too close inside of your personal space. When it comes to money, money can be the eighth or the second houses. Venus is the planet of money as well. It is in that link to Uranus and Pluto still. Maybe you're going to collaborate with other people soon, but just be conscious the 12th house can be where we become much more aware of who is not completely reliable. That's probably the gentlest way of putting it. We can also find out who's completely disloyal. So just be a little bit wary if you are thinking about your finances in a group or team situation. As far as relationships in general are concerned, Venus in your own sign sees you needing to feel admired for sure. Why not? that's something we can all relate to. But it's that opposition to Pluto which amps up that need. But because of this 12th house energy, is there someone from your past you've been thinking about? Have you been more nostalgic? Is it possible that there is someone coming up on your radar that a tie hasn't developed with yet, but you're becoming much more conscious of their energy? That's possible too. If you are in that solid relationship, that link between Venus and Saturn, then this 12th house energy suggests getting away to somewhere really quiet and very, very peaceful would be a great break at this time. It's been a real pleasure being with you, Leo. Have a great week and look forward to seeing you again soon.